Welcome, everybody, to the fourth edition of Man's Night. Thank you guys so much for joining and being a part of this great podcast here called Man's Night. Man, if you guys missed the episode yesterday, I do got some updates I want to share with you guys with that very disheartening podcast last night. Got some updates during the live when I was doing that podcast. I guess that's when he was being executed around that same time. So, man, oh man. Cynthia, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining and being part of this show. Again, as usual, Cynthia, I know I ask a lot out of you, but please share, hit the like, and put this out there for other people to view and watch, and hopefully maybe learn something here tonight too as well. Thank you anyways, nonetheless, for joining, Cynthia, and I'm hoping you're having a great Friday evening. So tonight, as you guys know, we got a special guest in here tonight. Please welcome Sterling. How's it going, Sterling?
Oh, it's going great. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm actually really excited about tonight's podcast and all of the great news and whatnot that we have to share with all the viewers and the fans out there. So, anyways, how the hell are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing terrific. Yeah, well,
Right.
I had a bit of a rough day.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah, my sister's camper got stolen, and then the police had it impounded after they found it, and I had to go get that out, and it cost me $380. It wasn't a lot of fun.
Ooh, ouch. So, wow. I mean, can you touch base on what happened on that?
Well, so the day before our birthday, I was going to hook up to the camper and bring it down to my house for storage, but the lock wouldn't engage, so I left it there. And then the next day, on our birthday, my sister, because I have a twin sister, so on our birthday, she calls me up and tells me that the camper had been stolen.
Oh, good
so
Lord.
we called the cops. We talked to Walmart and other neighboring businesses, and none of them had it towed off. So,
wow.
My sister wanted me to file a report today, and it turns out that whoever took it abandoned it in front of a church, and the cops towed it away because it was illegally parked.
Oh.
So I had to get a hold of the towing company, and I had to basically ransom it back for $380. Isn't that something? Someone can steal from you, and yet you have to pay to get it back.
It costs you more than it costs them, if any at all. Wow.
Yeah.
What a joke. But nonetheless, I'm sorry for what happened, man, and I'm hoping that your rest of your evening turns out better than what happened today. So, so sorry about all that.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
So I'm going to give you the opportunity, of course. I don't know if you know how this rolls out. Of course, Man's Night is just spontaneous. We talk about whatever and anything that you want to talk about. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, for tonight, I wanted to give you this opportunity or have your voice be heard here tonight and explain what you got going on for our future little endeavors here from Inside Out. So go ahead. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find a spot to set my coffee down.
No, go ahead, boss. But anyways, Like I said, this is your opportunity, so here it is. Take it away.
All right, 1 second. I just got this ring light thing that's supposed to help me out here as soon as I find a button for it. That way you can see me. Hang on. Wow, that's bright. Okay, all right. So let's see. There we go. Yeah. All right, that's better. All right, so I'm Sterling. I'm the owner and operator of Eclipse Computer Solutions. We're a small electronics repair shop in my hometown. We offer computer repair, sewing machine repair, television, basically all kinds of consumer electronics. And I would like to potentially support your channel in a more financial way. So I am considering becoming a sponsor. But what you and I have planned is, I believe that we can bring people together and basically speak as like one voice, because there's a lot of,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of garbage going on, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
well, I mean, people are being mistreated. You know, in case anybody knows, I myself did time in Hutchinson, Kansas,
Wow.
and um, when I was there, there was people who were building office furniture. Right,
Okay.
that was your job. So the prisons
Right.
put you to work. You don't just get to lay down when you're in prison. You have to have a job.
Right.
So um, they were building office furniture using supplies uh, that the taxpayers paid for originally,
Oh,
right?
interesting. Interesting. Okay.
And they were paying the inmates $1 a day. Now in prison, that's a lot, because like if you work in the kitchen, you're making maybe 15 cents a day.
Okay.
You know,
Wow.
so they would build this furniture and sell it to themselves using a state budget. Well, you know who funds the state budget?
Yep.
Taxpayers.
Us. We the people.
Yeah, exactly. So they're selling products to themselves that they already own.
Don't. It's almost like double dipping.
Yeah, absolutely. It,
Yeah.
it's actually
Wow.
triple dipping, because what they do is
Yep.
then, every year they replace all of their furniture, take their old furniture and sell it on Purple Wave.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Wow, that's a
You know,
that's imagine that segment right there.
yeah, yeah. And so
Wow.
as long as there is money in keeping people locked up,
Yeah.
you're going to have corruption at the highest levels.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Making
The only way that things are going to change in the system and become better, because they will sell the public fear.
oh,
Oh, you got
absolutely.
to keep these
Oh,
guys. You got to
every
keep
day.
these guys locked up. Even when
Hmm.
they're out, you got to be suspicious about them. You got to
Keep an
keep.
eye on them.
Exactly. And how are we supposed to become reformed if we are then denied every opportunity?
See, you used a very magic word, reform.
Exactly.
But and then I think I told you in a private chat one what was the other day that they call DOC Department of Corrections, but if you
Yeah.
stop and really think about it, it's not correcting anybody.
Right.
So
I
they
mean,
need to change that word to something else like
yeah,
corruption.
yeah. So there's a couple dynamics here that tend to get muddled. People need to stop looking at the United States government as their parents, right? Because
Mhm.
they're treating us like children, right? But
Yeah,
two, if your child gets in trouble, you put them in timeout or you ground them for a duration,
yeah,
right? After
yeah,
that
absolutely.
duration is expired, they're
Hmm.
off the hook,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
you
Mhm.
you don't 2 weeks later saying, "Hey, well, you remember that time you pushed that kid down?" It's like, well, I've
Mhm.
already been grounded for that. Yeah, well, go to your room. you know?
Yeah, no, you make that makes perfect sense, and that's why it's called set up for failure.
Yeah, absolutely,
You know, because
absolutely. So
we are always going to be set up for failure no matter what we try to do to better ourselves.
exactly.
So, it sucks. But what I'm going to do now, or what I'm going to do next, if you don't mind, is I'm going to do a share screen and show everybody your website and
Sure.
some information so I can help put you out there and get you more traffic and just
Fantastic.
get you more noticed is the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for. So just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and share that screen right now for all the viewers that want to know what I'm trying to talk about basically here. So where's my settings? Okay. Where
Now,
is
one thing
it?
I would like to mention is
Go ahead.
part of my company mission
Mhm.
is I am not hiring people's past. I am
There you
hiring
go.
their future,
Amen.
right? So, like, if you really want to do something positive with your life, I
Mhm.
am not going to hold your past against you.
Boom. Why can't we find more people like you like that?
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
does people's past have to do with their future?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
anyways, go ahead and share the screen. It's going to get a little weird on the screen, guys, but nonetheless, here it is. Here we go. Here's his website. Can you see that?
I can. I can't
Okay.
speak for everybody else.
Well, no, I just want to make sure you can see it, and I'll zoom in a little bit more so people can see what it looks like and all that. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, here is Sterling's website. It's called Eclipse Communications. He does basically everything you see on the site here, which is cool because I'm going to talk to you in private. I got a sewing machine that I think you might like. It's a collector's item.
Absolutely.
It's very, very old, and maybe you can do some research on it and tell me what it's worth. But I
Yeah,
have one that looks. Go ahead.
I spent a week in the woods in Tennessee to become Singer certified to work on Singer sewing machines.
That's what I have. It's a very old school one though.
Hmm.
So
Oh
I'll
yeah,
have to
I
take a
love them.
picture
The
of it.
older, the better.
Yeah. It's not perfect condition. It don't have the stand. It's just a sewing machine, but
Hmm.
nonetheless. Anyways, so here's his information, ladies and gentlemen. If you're curious on what to know, how to find this guy, his phone number is right there. You can contact him through there. He works on computers. He does a lot of other stuff that you can see on the site. Nonetheless, he does have a YouTube channel too. I'm going to show that right now for you guys' viewing. Here's his YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Again, can you see that, Sterling?
Yeah, yeah, I can. That's my personal one.
Yeah,
I do have.
I got your other one too up here. I'm just doing
Okay,
both. I'm doing
all
both.
right.
But anyways, so here is his personal YouTube channel. He does a lot of good things on here. If you guys want to check him out, type it in the way you see it there, and you should be able to find him. And then, of course, here's his other one, Eclipse Computer Solutions, and this is what he does here too as well. Please go over there and show him some love and let him know Jay sent you. So there is some of the stuff for you guys to know and check out if you're interested. And again, like I said, here's his webpage, Eclipse Communications. This is what he does. Hope you guys will go over there and check out his website, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I
So,
appreciate you. Go ahead.
so I've been operating the business since November of 2011,
Mhm.
and there has been instances where other companies claim or pretend to be me,
Oh, yep, I
right?
get that.
So
Yep.
so so they tried opening another Eclipse Computer Solutions, but I've got that locked down. I've got
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
I've got the website, www.eclipsecomputersolutions.com.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my tax certificate that tells me, that tells people when I started.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a business in New Mexico that was claiming to be Eclipse Computer Solutions, and they inevitably changed their name to like Eclipse Computer Services.
Oh, interesting. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty easy, defending what you have when you can prove that you've been doing it. You know,
Oh,
you've been doing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you've been doing it a while. So
Yeah, it's a crazy crazy mess because I'm dealing with the same thing as I told you in more private. And maybe me and you can touch base on details a
mhm.
little bit more about that and how that works about ownerships and brand names and all of that. Because as you
Mhm.
know, I told you kind of like in a private chat that I'm dealing with some kind of bullshit with, as you guys can see, the title name right there from Inside Out Network. And as you can see, even in the background, and even on any of these logos you see on my screen, there's no trademarks in here anywhere. So, uh, if you can touch base on how that works and what makes it legit and legal, be my guest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, if I am the president of my company, but that's because I'm a sole proprietorship, right? So it's just me. It's tied to my social. You
Mhm.
know, I've got my sales tax certificate. I'm a legitimate business. You know, but there are some people who will just arbitrarily add titles to their name that don't even exist, right?
Right.
You can't be a president or a CEO of something that is not a legal business entity.
There you
You know,
go.
in order to
Yep.
be a CEO, you have to be an S corp, a C corp, or an LLC,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
all of these.
interesting.
Oh yeah, all of these business organizational types, they all have a board. So, for
Mhm.
instance, if I establish an LLC, there isn't exactly one owner. There's percentage of ownership,
Mhm.
you know, and then each of us have our own titles, and then there's a vote. So, in order for any kind of organizational changes, there has to be a vote of the board.
Amen. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
and then
I've done some research on this. So.
yeah, and then that is recorded in the minutes. So, like,
Yep.
if you want to change my title, you know, I have to have uh, you know, a majority vote of the board, but only if we are equal owners in the
Mhm.
corporation or LLC.
Right. And well, let me ask you something too on top of this topic. I'm glad we're talking about this because it's important.
Mhm.
First off, as you know, I told you that a certain individual has bought and paid for a domain of a certain name.
Yeah, but
Does that make that said person the owner of this network you see on your screen right now?
absolutely not. Absolutely
Bingo.
not. I mean, I could go
Bingo.
to For
Bingo.
Imprint or Vistaprint and get a book with a company name on it. That
Yep.
doesn't mean I own that company.
There you go.
You know, iPage hosts my website, but there's other hosting services like GoDaddy or whatever, and anybody,
Mhm.
if the domain name is available, can purchase that domain.
There you go.
So yeah, that doesn't prove anything.
So nobody can go after me right now, technically, for stealing something that I don't own.
Correct. Correct.
Absolutely. Thank you for
You
putting
know,
that out there.
but
And again, you
I
didn't
would
hear it from
lock
me.
right.
Go
I would
ahead.
lock it down though.
Oh, I know. I got
Yeah.
plans.
Hmm.
I got plans, but I'm just letting you know. You probably
Yeah.
you already know what's going on. I told
Yeah.
you. So
I do
just
have a
it's
gift.
just more.
I do have a gift for you.
Okay.
This right here is a 1 terabyte solid state hard drive.
Oh, awesome.
This is going to be going into an enclosure to increase your storage capability, and being solid state, it is able to read and write data to it much faster than a mechanical hard drive.
Oh, okay.
If it were me, I would put it directly into your system because the SATA interface, serial ATA interface, is a lot faster than USB or USB 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure exactly how to hook all that up inside there, so I don't know. If you were here, you probably could go through a whole thing with me and help me out with it. But as of right now, I don't know how to hook that up. So,
Yeah,
so we'll
yeah,
discuss it later, though. But I appreciate the offer. I really do. Thank you.
absolutely. Is it okay if I give some hope to your viewership?
Absolutely, sure.
So when I was in prison, I wrote a
Mhm.
letter to the Wichita Technical Institute. It's a technical school,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
I explained the situation, you know, and told them that I didn't want to be viewed as a monster, right? I
Absolutely.
wanted to prove to people the kind of person that I actually am, not what I was accused of, right?
Yeah.
But
Sounds so familiar.
what I actually am, you know. And so I got a response from the Wichita Technical Institute, and they opened their arms to me, and I graduated top of my class with a 4.0 for advanced electronics
Wow.
and computer technology. So
Congratulations.
my name actually has a bunch of acronyms at the end of it. So there's CIS for Certified IPC Specialist.
Wow.
There's there is FCC for my
Mhm.
FCC radio operator's license.
Mhm.
There's A plus for computer repair. Net
Mhm.
plus
Mhm.
for networking, and then I also have my CET journeyman's license, which is certified electronics technician. and this journeyman license never expires, and that also makes me an electrician. Now,
Wow.
when you do electrician work, though, you have to become bonded, and I'm bonded for $1 million. And basically, if I go somewhere and I'm doing electrical work, and I burn the place down,
Mhm.
that's what that bonding is for. And then
Wow.
and then you also have to get a permit for whichever city that you're working in.
Wow.
So,
Congratulations, my friend.
oh yeah. Now, I'm not going to mention a company that I currently work for, but
Okay.
it's a big player in aerospace. So
Ooh.
I currently work on aviation electronics.
Ooh, that's big.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
that's way huge. Wow. Congratulations.
yeah. And the company I work for has great benefits. You know, I have 3 weeks paid vacation because I've been there 5 years. I have 56 hours
Wow.
paid sick leave, 401k
Wow.
match of 87% on the first 8% of my pay. You
Wow.
know, so
Wow. Yeah, and
I'm
you know
I'm
what?
very hopeful.
That right there just gives me more hope to do what I want to do, and more initiative and whatnot, and more
Yeah,
energy and positive stuff coming down the pike when it comes to me. You are basically showing everybody that your second chance is really working for you. Congratulations, brother.
now it's not easy. You know,
Oh, I know. I know.
anything worth doing isn't easy, but
Mhm.
um, I would like to say this about any prospective business owners
Mhm.
who are out there.
Mhm.
You will not find a harder, more dedicated working employee than a guy who is wanting to get his life right and prove himself.
Oh, ain't you hit that on the nail.
Yeah.
Man, you hit that on the nail.
Because I mean, I've had other job offers for even more money, but the company I'm working for now is the
Mhm.
first one to give me a real opportunity. I
it's
graduated
just, it's fucking amazing, man.
right. I graduated in 2011, and it wasn't until 2019 that I finally got a job in my field.
Wow. Wow. Look at you. Man, you make a lot of people proud, man, including
Oh,
me.
well, thank you, appreciate it. And I just want to help other people, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
And if I can do it, I think anybody can, as long as they're willing to put in the work,
Well,
you
and that's
know.
the thing. That's what I say to my viewers sometimes. Your life is all in what you want. Life is all in what you want. You're the only one that can put your mind to whatever you want to do. You know, you,
Right.
the mind's the most powerful human organ in the body, and if we don't train it and work it out like we work everything else out,
Yeah.
yeah, I think people would be amazed on what people can do. But again, sitting on your butt doing nothing, nothing's going to happen to you.
Right.
My good friend Cynthia Bela said, "You're a great inspiration for many people." There you go.
Thank you very much, Cynthia.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that. I totally agree that I watch people on the outside of their bodies work their muscles. Their arms,
Hmm.
their legs, their chest, their stomach. But the one that don't get worked out the most is this one. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely.
So, but man, awesome news. And thank you so much. Of course, I wanted to give you a major shout out too for taking I guess the opportunity to become a sponsor. And
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
absolutely.
That is absolutely
Yeah,
amazing. And of course, go ahead.
I'm gonna be hooking you up with all kinds of gear
All right.
and sending some money towards your channel.
I
Maybe
appreciate it, boss.
uh, buying some merch from you. You
Yeah.
know.
I don't got much right now, but it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Well, I mean, when I set up a store, I might do a bulk order and offer it to my customers.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Wow.
an
Look at
idea
you.
for you.
I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Well, usually I do Imaginette segments tonight, but I think I'm going to roll one out. But here's what I wanted to do for Imaginette tonight, because if you did you pay attention to last night's show by chance at all?
Yes, I did. That was very
Oh
disturbing.
God, that turned my
Very
stomach. That was
disturbing.
like, ugh. Well, I got some updates.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
I'm gonna, and of course, I'm gonna ask. Let's see, Cynthia's in here. Yep, Cynthia. I don't know if you can do it on here or put it in the chat. Is there a way you can send me the link to that video that you were talking about, that individual's execution last night, or any information you have, try to set it in the chat. If not, I'll have to figure out another way to put it up here. But I wanted to go ahead and kick off Imagine That segment. So Sterling, stand by for that. I'm going to go ahead
Sure
and
thing.
do the Imagine That segment and give everybody updates on this. Here we go. Welcome real quick back to Imagine That. I got some updates I wanted to do with you guys real quick with the Imagine That. And of course, Sterling's in the green room. He's not gone away. He's just in the back room right now until I get done with this Imagine That segment. But as you guys know, if you guys pay attention, I got a little bit of an update for you guys when it comes to the execution that happened with that gentleman last night. And of course, Cynthia gets in here and says, I can try. Thank you, nonetheless, for trying. That's more than nothing anybody can ask. But anyways, here's the updates. Believe it or not, that was the first individual that got tested under this new execution style type thing. And believe it or not, folks, he actually suffered during that execution. He absolutely suffered. I guess he was how do I say this without sounding all weird, but he was flailing back and forth. His head was going up and down in the gurney or on the gurney. Stuff was coming out of his mouth and getting over the mask. He was suffocating. He was suffering, and he wasn't dying like that. So, so there's going to be a lot of backlash with this. There's going to be a lot of issues with this. And I don't know. Don't be surprised if the family doesn't sue for this too, on top of that. I think it's absolutely disheartening and inhumane how they did this guy. There's so many other ways to end somebody's life, but we're going to try new things like this and make our locked up loved ones lab rats. And I'm not a happy camper about it at all. So basically, in a nutshell, for tonight's Imagine That segment, he did suffer. Again, I can't stress that enough to you guys. He did suffer during that procedure, and I'm not a happy camper with it. But of course, that is the segment for Imagine That. I'm very pissed off about it, and I hope the families go after DOC and whatnot, and hopefully they can come up with a better solution, if any at all. Of course, and you guys know me, I'm totally against the death penalty as a whole. But I don't like to see people suffer. But I'll keep you guys updated with all new information coming down the pike right here from Inside Out. Disgusting.
Man. Yeah, so, I've got some things to say about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have a lot. Go ahead.
How are we going to teach people that it's wrong to kill people by killing people?
Yeah, I'll never. That's if you know the answer, let me know.
To be honest, it is impossible to execute somebody without committing murder.
Well, did you hear what happened the first time with the same guy?
Yeah,
they couldn't find a vein. So, of course, when you can't find a vein, there's suffering going on there too as well.
Oh yeah, fishing around under your skin, you're expecting to die, but you don't.
Yeah, and the chemicals I guess the chemicals didn't work right. Oh,
think about the mental turmoil about that.
Yeah, you're sitting there,
even knowing when you're supposed to die. Oh. Just the mental weight of that would be excruciating.
I don't know.
What would you do if they strapped you up and you knew that in 5 minutes you were dead?
Yeah, and imagine I don't know how you can eat your last meal. I'd be so damn stressed out.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to keep it down.
Gee, like Christmas.
And a lot of states, I think Kansas is one of them. They stopped doing last meals.
Mhm.
You know, they just feed them whatever the prisoners are eating that day.
Right. Well,
You
no,
know,
now again, depending on what state, believe it or
yeah.
not, they can put a request in to order what they want for their last meal. They can do that. He ordered steak.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Um, okay, so Cynthia, I got your comments in here, but I didn't get the link, but it's no big deal. I'll have to do a special podcast on that, I guess, when it comes to having data up on the screen. But I didn't get it, Cynthia, but thanks for trying nonetheless. So this is my take on it. And again, I'm going to ask you some questions too, Sterling, on this same
Sure.
thing, because again, not everybody obviously agrees with the death penalty. And I'm pretty sure you have the same feelings with it as a whole. But when it comes to the death penalty, I think honestly, yeah, that doesn't justify or make peace, in my personal opinion, just like you
No, it
said
doesn't.
earlier.
It
Uh,
doesn't.
because yeah, he committed murder. I'm not condoning his crime or saying, yeah, that's okay. What I'm
Right. No,
saying is,
nobody is condoning crime.
right. What I'm saying, and what I'm saying as a whole, though, is that whatever he did, how does killing him bring peace to everybody that got victimized on this?
Right. It's not going to bring anybody else back alive.
Because
You
now
know.
the family's dealing with another death. Him.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
could have been a
absolutely.
father, a husband,
And
a brother.
one thing that nobody seems to understand is he was somebody's child.
That's
What about
exactly
his
right. That's
mother?
my, yep.
Right?
His parents, his
Say you're a
kids. Yep.
mother and your kid is going through that. They made a horrible mistake and now
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
in prison and they've suffered a botched execution already,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
I hear you.
And
I hear you.
there's these people who are just foaming at the mouth, just wanting to kill your child, and you're supposed to just sit back and watch and let it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I were a parent of someone on death row, I would need a lot of counseling after that.
Oh, I
You
know.
know?
But again, witnessing it is another issue
Oh
I have
yeah.
a problem with. Sitting there in that behind that window,
Hmm.
they got the curtain open and you're watching him flailing and moving about.
Right.
How is that like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he's suffering. I mean, people's mindset. Think about that.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
You're
You know,
demented
those
for I'm sorry.
yeah, life is the most precious thing, right?
It is.
And I'm sorry that guy took somebody else's,
Yeah, me
right?
too. I don't condone it.
But
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
but but it is just as much of a loss to that guy's family to execute him.
Mhm.
You know, I'm sure that the Nazis in Germany, in their own mind, thought that they were doing a good thing, in Auschwitz by murdering all those people.
Right, absolutely.
You
And
know,
that was a big thing too, the Holocaust. Oh my God.
yeah, it's a big sickness of the mind. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one step towards removing it is, what if the victim's family was the one who had to put him to death, right? Not some
Yeah.
administration, not the prison, not the warden, but that person's family goes in there to execute them himself, themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All the while this guy is asking for your mercy and forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like, who could
No.
do that, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
like if a person wronged me, say heaven forbid someone took the life of somebody close to me, right? And I spend all these years all angry and stuff, and it comes down to it, and I'm in that room and I got that syringe or whatever in my hand, and this dude is saying, hey man, I know that I wronged you, I am so sorry. If I
Hmm.
could go back in time and change what I did, I would. But if it
Hmm.
makes you feel more at peace to murder me right now, to take my life, then you go ahead,
Yeah. Wow.
right?
Nicely put. Nicely put. It
Yeah,
makes sense though, because let me
absolutely.
ask you this. Let me ask you this, and of course, I'm also going to ask the viewers tonight too, as well. Um, how do you feel about if we were able to have the power back in our hands and deal with our system as a whole? Would you what would if we had the power back in our hands? I'm saying everybody, every taxpayer had the power back in our hands. what would you do different about the system?
Oh, wow. That's a huge question. Um, so I think we should not be eliminating the possibility for forgiveness, right?
Mm,
We
mm,
are human beings. And we
powerful.
currently live in a society where we understand that human beings are flawed. We understand that human beings are less than perfect, and yet we demand perfection from them,
Yeah.
you know? So we are doomed to make some mistakes,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
I get it. I get it. We're human.
But
Yeah.
but if you wrong me, right? I should have that option to forgive you. I should be
Yeah.
able to have a
And heal
one-on-one.
and heal and heal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of healing in forgiveness, right? Not post-mortem, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody wrongs me and they come up to me and it's like, "Hey man, I did you dirty. I feel terrible about that. I want to make amends." What's so wrong about that?
Imagine,
That would be such a beautiful thing.
imagine what kind of world we live in if that actually came true. What you just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy
Absolutely.
moly! Imagine what the life itself would be like if
Hmm.
we had that mindset today.
Yeah, and another thing I can't understand is the public ridicule that people get when they do try to forgive somebody. So
Oh
there's
yeah,
this,
because
yeah.
it shows
So
weakness. Weakness. You're weak for doing it.
if you ask me, it takes a whole lot of strength to forgive somebody.
No, I meant the
There's nothing,
guys.
yeah,
No, I didn't. That's not what I meant. What I meant by weak, I'm talking about the haters, the trolls, people like that
right,
are making fun of you because you're going down to that level and asking for forgiveness for certain type crimes or whatever the case may be. I don't
yeah,
give a rat's ass. I have a forgiving heart. Whatever you did
hmm,
or didn't do it, I'm not going to sit there, and go, oh yeah, I can't stand that guy because he's got that on his record. You get my
right,
drift. But carry
yeah,
on.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that actually brings me to a story that I'd like to share if we have time.
No, go ahead, boss.
So when I was in prison, you would see these gangs and stuff trying to recruit people,
Mhm.
and if they couldn't recruit you, then they would try to extort you, right? I know why you're here. It's going to cost you a bag of coffee a month to stay here. I'm like, uh, my tax dollars paid for this place. Why am I paying you, right? And then they say that you have to pay for protection, right? Anyone who offers to accept money for protection, what they're really saying is pay us to leave you alone. They're not protecting you from other crews that might want to mess with you, right? So there was. I'm not going to mention the name of the gang, but every day when I was level 1, they would walk by and say, "What's in your locker?" I'm like, "Nothing." A couple days passed. "What's in your locker?" "Nothing." So then 3 of these dudes, these are huge mountains of men, right? Come to me and say, "What's in your locker?" And I'm like, "Look, you're a big dude and you can probably kick my ass, but you're not getting my crunch." And so I took a calculated risk because, um, one, if they did kick my ass, they wouldn't get anything because I was telling the truth, right? There was nothing in my locker, right? They wouldn't get anything out of this encounter, and they would be doing like 6 months in the hole because of that. On top of that, I know that there was at least 3 or 4 snitches on the run who were just looking for a deal, right? So if they accosted me, not only would they not get anything, but they would do all this time in the hole, and they decided to leave me alone. Well, that had an unintended side effect. Uh, Other people watched this go down. Next thing I know, I've got 5 people following me around for protection, right? Like I'm going to protect them. And so when people would come in, I'd try to get to them first, be like, "Look, this is what you can expect when you're here. People are going to try to recruit you, then they're going to try to extort you. Just kindly and politely say, 'I'm my own man. I'll stand on my own 2 feet.'" Just leave it at that. Don't show any hate. Don't be disrespectful. And I told them, I said, "Look, we're all in here for the same thing, breaking the law. Besides that, it doesn't matter. We are all here together. By the way, church is every Wednesday at 6. I'll see you there.
Wow. Awesome story. And it's so true too. That's not fiction. That's not made up. That actually happened.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Deep.
So it's
That's
amazing. A little bit of kindness will go a long way behind the wall.
Absolutely. Wow.
You know, because everyone there, they're used to everybody hating them, right?
Sure.
And in my opinion, there's no room, at least in my heart, for hate. I don't even hate the people who lock me up. You know, I pray for them. I hope that they have like a change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but ultimately, yeah, we're all in this together. You know.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
eventually, you know, you might find yourself on the outside again. Well,
Yeah.
you need a support system. You need access to housing, to food, to employment opportunities. You need to be able to move on with your life after you paid the price.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
if you paid your dues, like you just mentioned, nothing, it shouldn't continue on for the rest of your life, is what I'm saying.
Right. You go to the store and you buy a pound of hamburger, right? You come to the store a couple weeks later, they're like, hey, you got to pay for that pound of hamburger. It's like, I already paid for it. Doesn't matter. You know, you're in our store again. You know, you got to pay for that hamburger, you know?
And that's reality too. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's like there has to be an end to punishment. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pointless.
Again, there's punishment and then there's what's after. You see, my point is,
exactly.
Do we really seriously get an honest to God truth second chance at life, or is that just a saying? Well, obviously you're living yours now and you're doing way better than you have been.
I'm doing my
living
best.
Mine. Yeah, but you're living it and I'm living it, you know, and with your testament tonight or your, your communication tonight, what you shared, I mean, there's proof in the pudding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not the other people telling us we can't. It's, when we, like, for example, what I'm getting at is this. When we get a second chance at life, we should have that second chance at life, not somebody dictating it, is what I'm getting at. So like government or something along those lines shouldn't get in here anymore. After you've served your time and your punishment and paid your dues, they should not come in here and say, hey, this is when I need you to piss, shit, and wipe.
Yeah. Anything that's done to you after conviction, I don't care what these scientists or scholars or whatever those people say, it is double jeopardy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you've paid, you should be done. If they do anything or have any restrictions on you of what you can and cannot do, that is double jeopardy. They're creating a whole other subset of human beings. And then what about equal application under the law, right? Like, how is it that there can be laws for some individuals and not others in the land of the free? You know?
You're right.
Yeah.
The free.
Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Where's liberty, right? Why are we not allowed to pursue happiness? You know? Yeah. And that guy they executed, what about his life?
I know. I hear you. Sick world we live in, and that's why we need prison reform and so many other things within the system. We need so much things changed. And I don't know if I told you this or not, but the system's over 200 something years old. And that's just, it's time to catch up with today's times. It's so old.
I want to create a nonprofit. Okay. This nonprofit will be called CARRI, CARRI. And it's an acronym for Citizens Association for the Rights of Reformed Individuals. I feel very strongly and very passionately about this, you know. And like, for instance, you've got your own network. There's a few other people who have their own. Why can't we all come together under this umbrella and work together? Right?
Instead of against each other, why can't we just be a good team and work together and put all heads together and come up with good goddamn ideas that can hopefully bring change to our system?
Yeah, you know, and there's a lot of competition on YouTube for like subscribers, but why? I can subscribe to this channel and that channel.
And they won't do it back. They don't do it back.
So like, well, the thing is, you both can have the same subscribers and still monetize on those same subscribers.
Yeah, they
You
don't look
know,
at like they don't see it like that.
right? There really is no competition. You
Mm.
know, because I like to watch whatever I like to watch. You know,
Right, absolutely.
so
Yep. Yeah. Well, we're getting close to the bottom of the hour of this great podcast. Is there anything else you wanted to add? But I wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and what
oh
happened
yeah, no
today.
problem.
And go ahead.
I greatly look forward to future projects with you and
Yeah.
other people who are like minded.
Yep.
You know,
That's
I
the
think.
goal.
I mean, how many millions and millions of people are in prison? I know that one in out of four
Thousands.
people, have either been in prison themselves or know someone in prison.
Yep.
Right? Who
Yep.
wouldn't want that vote? Right? They want to
Well,
erase you. They don't want you to have any representation.
well, yeah, no, I get that. Well, get this too, though. How many people inside right now, these prisons, are actually looking for somebody like us to help them?
Yeah, absolutely. I
You
want to
know,
go into like prison ministry and actually I will go back in, behind the wall as a visitor,
Mhm.
to help other people. Like
There you go.
one of the saddest things about me leaving, well, one, I couldn't really tell anybody I was leaving because I didn't want any problems.
Y-
Because there's people who are
y-
jealous that you're
it-
leaving and they're not.
it's kind of a big no not to say that because it can.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Could put you at risk, So you just be like, oh, I'm transferring to another facility or whatever,
yeah,
But the
yeah.
saddest thing was leaving my friends behind.
I know.
Because
And
when I was in
some.
there, I made a lot of close relationships,
I did
and
too. I did too.
yeah, and I want to help those guys,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, if we can just find a way to reach one or two, we're doing something because word
Absolutely.
word of mouth is a lot better than
Yeah.
this in a sense.
Right.
So we need to do more word of mouth and get ourselves out there and put it out there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
People don't want to listen to our bitching.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, here is a great first step, and that is kind of like a pay it forward kind of thing. If
Mhm.
you want the world to change, stop, take a moment, do something kind for somebody.
Absolutely.
You
I
know,
agree.
the more selfless, kind things that you do will eventually change people's perspective of you.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So prove them wrong. Show
Yep.
them who you really are on the inside.
Right.
Do it in a
Well,
safe public forum, because a
I
lot of these
tried.
laws.
I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off. I said I tried to do it on here, but I got haters. But carry on.
Yeah. Well, I forgot what I was saying.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, all of these laws that are in place to hinder people are all laws that are based on fear and not facts.
There you go.
And
Mhm.
and if we could get away from the fear mongering, I mean, look at
Mhm.
me. Who'd be afraid of me? Like,
Yeah.
what would the reason be for being afraid of me? There is
Right.
none. There is none. In fact, I would say that felons are probably more afraid of the public than the public is of them.
There you go. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd say that's a fact, because I mean, I've paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in application fees just for a place to live.
Mhm.
They didn't return it. They just denied me.
Wow.
And
Wow. That's
so
again.
I made $92,000 last year, and I can't find a place to live.
Another imagine that segment.
Yeah.
Gee,
Yeah.
wow.
So like I'm working on my career, but I still can't live in the city because no one will rent to me. So yeah, I've been living in an off-grid camper of my own design.
God damn. Well, it's time for change. Let's
All right.
change that.
Absolutely.
I think we need to
Absolutely.
build. I think there are some people that are doing this. Maybe this is an idea that I can pass down to you. I think some people have already tried to do it, but we need to build like small houses or small homes and see if that works.
Absolutely. So
Or
I
do
have a
something-
house.
Go ahead.
I have a house that's paid for that I'm willing to rent to anybody who has employment.
Oh,
You know?
nice.
Yeah. I mean, if you can pay your rent, why should I care what's going on in your life?
There you go.
Right.
Wow.
And so
Awesome.
my next acquisition will probably be a duplex. I'll do the same thing. Eventually, I want to get apartment complexes,
There you go.
you know, because the
Well,
only
they're
business the only business of the landlord is that their tenant pays rent,
yeah.
you know,
Well, and
because
the
that
rents are
other
so
person.
goddamn high.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hopefully we can be different, like in your mindset, and not charge what everybody else is charging,
Right.
and give these
So,
people hope.
one of the first programs I want to do with Carrie is called the Second Chance Initiative. And
Oh yeah.
I want to get business owners together who would be willing to give a person an opportunity. Now, one thing that a lot of them don't realize is when you come out of prison, you are bondable. They can put insurance on you. So if you step
Yeah.
out of line, they're covered. They don't have
Mhm.
liability in it, you know?
Wow.
So if they're willing to give a felon an opportunity, they will see, how great it is,
Mhm.
you know? So I want to get employers on board, and I want to get landlords on board with this as well.
There you go.
And
Man,
they might be afraid of us. Sit down and talk to us.
yeah.
Get to know us. That's all we
Wow.
ask.
That would be cool because that gives hope now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives people a second chance to actually live. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
man,
So
thank you so much for.
I feel
Go
very
ahead.
passionately about this, and so I'm hoping that other people will join our cause and help
Yeah,
make a better future for all of us.
absolutely. Well, I'm on board. I support you 100%.
Right on.
So yeah, yeah. Let's work together as a good team here, and let's bring other people on board. I already have some ideas and names. I think you already know who I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
we need to get them on board. We need to do some shows and podcasts with them and see where
Yeah,
their
and
mindset's at.
outreach
Yep,
programs. You
yep.
know.
We need to get out there and do some public speaking and all that too.
Yes, absolutely.
But man, Sterling, thank you so much for joining this show tonight. I appreciate it. You made Man's Night pretty epic tonight, so I appreciate all you're doing there. And again, you got my 100% support, and thank you for being my sponsor. I'm going to
Absolutely.
definitely do what I can to bring some traffic and some love and respect your way too, as well. So
All
it's
right,
well deserved.
fantastic.
Thank you
Fantastic.
so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this show.
Absolutely. I
It,
I love all of you.
Yeah, well, same here. Same right back at you. If you want to stick in the green room after the show's over, I'd like to talk some more.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, boss. All right.
All right. All
So,
right. Have a
anyways,
lovely night.
yeah, you too, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. Take care.
All right, fantastic. Good.
Sorry, Sterling, I cut you off early, but I'm mad. Anyways, so there you guys have it. So let's see what Cynthia had to say. Even a micro home is expensive. Yeah, it is absolutely correct. But we're going to hopefully change that and give people real, true second chances at life. So we'll definitely check that out. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for joining Man's Night. I do appreciate it. Again, if you're new here, please hit the sub, hit and smash the like button, and share this video with all your friends and networks and groups that you belong to. That way it gets me more out there and I can continue to plant seeds and educate the masses. With that said, thank you guys so much for being a part of this show. I'm your host, Jay. I will see you all on the next one. Good night, everybody.